welcome back to my channel. For all the new subscribers, thank you so much for watching, and for all the returning subscribers, welcome to another video by your fave. Okay, now I have no idea where this video is intended to go, but I do get a lot of questions about this, and I thought, you know what better way than for me to basically tell you guys the whole journey, right? Now, I know the headline is going to shock you, but that's the truth. I really did quit all my jobs. So for anybody who follows me on social media, you guys currently know that I am doing my master's in business administration. I'm currently doing my master's at Monash, South Africa, I think it's called now. Well, now it's called IIE MSA. I don't even know why, but then they kind of basically separated from the whole Monash franchise with Monash Australia, and they kind of sort of trying to establish themselves. And I think it's because they were bought out by Varsity College, if I'm not mistaken. Sometime last year, Varsity College, I think, bought out Monash, and now I think it's under them, which is why it's kind of like the IIE MSA kind of setup. But anyway, that has absolutely nothing to do with the video. So I get a lot of questions on social media about what I'm studying, where I'm working, what I'm doing, and basically a lot of people who are having difficulty with finding the right career path. I'm here to tell you that it happens to the best of us, right? So I quit all my jobs, and it's kind of safe to say I'm unemployed. Yo! Hectic. So I started working from 19. No, I'm lying. No, I'm actually not lying, yeah. So I started wanting to work a really long time ago. In my first year of varsity, I really wanted to be a part of the Red Bull Wings team. So I really did apply a lot, and they rejected me like 3 times. I'll never forget that interview. I told myself, if I ever become famous or I ever find myself in a position where Red Bull wants to partner with me, I want to tell the story. Just for them to know that they rejected me 3 times. Like 3 times. So I wanted to be part of the Red Bull's wing team. So as soon as I finished with matric, while I was still in university, I told my dad, listen, I want to work. And my dad was not too happy with it, because he was like, I don't want you to work, I want you to focus on school. So irrespective of that, I really wanted to drive one of the Mini Coopers. So I was just like, sis, bro, I am definitely gonna find my work, right? So I don't know, with a lot of other kids who have parents who are well off, they kind of become complacent and comfortable, but I didn't like it, because I didn't like the idea that I would have to live off my parents forever, and I've always been very driven. So I really wanted to jump into the market space. And the thing is, I was in the marketing industry in terms of doing my marketing undergrad and management. So with marketing, experience somehow always beats varsity studies. You'll learn, and you'll see that in the industry to date, especially within marketing, your years of experience somehow always overshadow everything that you've learned in school. It means absolutely nothing. So when I was in varsity, I went to Red Bull. I went to my first interview. They rejected me. Great stuff. I'd like to let you guys know that I've been rejected maybe more than 30 times. I've been rejected, guys. Do you understand? And I want you guys to know that it's okay. It happens to the best of us. Like, as much as it stresses, this is not a past tense situation, like it's something that still stresses me now. Honestly, that's what happens. So I went to Red Bull. I really wanted to work for Red Bull, and Red Bull obviously kept declining me. So I would go to design quarter, and I would walk around with my CV, and then I saw DNA Brand Architects. Woo! I have to say, that was my best brief job. So I would always go every day, knock on the door, on the glass door. And I even remember that day, it was Jay Badza. It's the craziest thing. All these people don't remember me, but I'm gonna remember. I remember all of them. Zoe Motswana, Jay Badza. I used to work as an intern for a good 3 months, and I remember the day that I got the job at DNA, right? So it was my final year of undergrad. Yeah, it was my final year of undergrad, and I had to pick either a course or I had to go work, and I chose to go and work. So I wanted to go back to Red Bull. So DNA Brand Architects offices are right next door to Red Bull. So I saw the offices. It's very open plan, glass. It looked amazing. So I obviously did my research and trying to find out, what is DNA Brand Architects? What are they doing? In my final year, I realized that I wanted to branch more into marketing, more than I did into management. So I obviously wanted to look for an agency or an industry that obviously would put me in the marketing space. So DNA Brand Architects, obviously they brand strategists. What they do is they develop your brand from inception all the way to implementation. They come up with ideas, they give you fresh new takes, you know. So I would knock every day there on the glass on some guys, hire me, hire me. I would email. I remember the first time I came and a guy named Kangi took my CV and never got back to me. I was like, that's not the end of it. They were knee deep within a meeting, guys. I remember I pressed that bell. I don't know if I was knocking, I was waving. I was like, hey, yo. And then eventually Jay Badza came to the glass door and was like, listen, dude, we have a meeting. What do you want? I was like, can you please take my CV because I really want to work for you guys and it's only going to be for 3 months and I'm okay with working unpaid. I said a lot. And Jay was like, listen, we're in the middle of a meeting right now. I'm going to take your CV and we'll call you. So when he took my CV and said will call me, I had just given up on it because I was just like, oh, okay. This is like the 3rd time I'm being ghosted by DNA Brand Architects. Bear in mind, 3rd time's a charm. I was already gutted from being, dismissed by Red Bull. Eventually DNA Brand called me and I got to work for them and it was amazing working under Sylvester and Jay. I do know that Jay has obviously taken his own route and I love Jay, guys. I love Jay, but oh my god, he was like my favorite at the office. He was so kind and like, look, everyone was really nice at the office, but I think there was something about Jay's aura, guys. He's such a nice, fun person to work for. You know, Sylvester was also really nice, but Sylvester was very like results driven. But anyway, after the 3-month course, it was my final year of undergrad. I did have the opportunity to obviously you know, kind of speak to Sylvester about having a permanent place within the organization because they were looking for some new people, but I felt like I didn't fit in. Personally, the reason why I didn't pursue my career at DNA Brand was because a lot of my favorite people had been there for years on end and they wanted to branch out and do their own thing. And I'm just like, but mates, I'm like 20, I'm alone, I've made relationships with all you people, now you're all just upping and leaving the company, like, you know. But also, I was not trying to get into branding and strategy, right? So now I'm in marketing, so I can do marketing strategy, I can do all that stuff, but I didn't know much. I knew a lot about branding, but it wasn't where my passion was. It wasn't where my niche was. It wasn't where I was as a person. Little did I know that that's what it is. That is what I'm good at. So anyway, I decided to leave DNA Brand Architects. It was the greatest 3 months of my life. I learned so much, and what I loved about Sylvester is that he pushed me with marketing terminology. And I just sat there one day and I was like, he was like, yeah, so what do you think about the value offering? What is the value? I'm like, yeah. I learned this in class, but I don't remember this. But yeah, it was a great company to work for and they're thriving right now, which is amazing. The next company I went to go work for, guys, was a company called Licorice Inc. And Licorice Inc. is the organization where I can say I learned the most. Now, Leanne is a very, oh my gosh, that lady is relentless, but she is so good at what she does. She is amazing at what she does, right? So I obviously found them, and they are also like an agency that obviously specializes in like brand strategy and branding. And actually the funny thing was, when I started working at Licorice Inc., the people who were running the PR firm of the company that Licorice Inc. had won was DNA Brand Architects. So it was so nice seeing everybody there, but honestly, I learned more and I grew more at Licorice Inc. I can safely say that she gave me a lot of opportunities, but I didn't know what I wanted to do at the time, and she could see like I wasn't pushing myself enough because I didn't know what I was doing and I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was doing my honors and I was so focused on my thesis, and I would go to work every day and I would watch. My thesis was based on emotional intelligence, so I'd go to work every day, I'd do the job that I needed to do, but I'd spend so much of my time watching my colleagues, watching people in the office. We worked in an office block because I wanted my thesis to be so good, and I used that company as kind of like my, you know, the basis of my research. So I got a distinction for it, but yeah, I didn't survive at licorice, only because I felt like this is not what I enjoy doing. I was there for till March till October, so I would go to work like 2-3 times a week, and then I would go to school once a week. So yeah, it worked for me in a sense, but I still wasn't motivated, and it also was very like little pay, like just like 3-2 grand. Like it was stipend, like it was small, but I was doing it for the experience. And I won't even lie, I got some of the best mentors in the game. I just messed it up because I didn't know what I wanted to do. After I did my thesis, it was great, and I decided to obviously leave the company because it's not what I wanted to do. Then I went to another company, and I worked whilst I wasn't doing my master's at the time, but I wanted to go into doing my master's. I genuinely have to say, going to this company now, it was a completely different aspect. Like I was working for like a power management company, like there was a factory inside the company, you know. So it was great working for them. Eaton Electric, yes, it was great working at Eaton. But I'll tell you, oh, my boss, oh, that lady changed my life. Oh my god, that lady. Oh. She was an Indian lady, right? Let me tell you, when I say, if there was anyone I wanted to become when I grow up, it's her. You know when they say someone is good at what she does, she is amazing at what she does. And she gave me the opportunity, but then she shortly left. She left me there, and there was no one who believed in me. And I was also working there, like, as you know, small things, but that's where I also learned a lot. So why am I telling you all these stories? I'm telling you because I want you to know that, then after that I worked for a construction company, which I still work for. But I technically I think I could, but I'm not sure yet. But anyway, the moral of the story throughout this, that guys, it's really okay to not know where you're going career-wise. There was one conversation I had with a friend of mine, Tando, and I think I mentioned it in a previous video about a quarter-life crisis. And I think I went through one of those because I was one of those kids where I did everything my parents asked me to do. Go to school, okay, get your degree, good, go further, honest, yes, get a job, all right, do your masters, cool. But I felt uninspired in the spaces I was in because a lot of my inspiration depended on who was mentoring me, and every time people kept leaving, I lost the motivation to go to work. But also another thing is that even in the marketing industry, it's really hard to kind of break in and know what you're doing. I think we're all so young to be making such serious decisions about our lives, and it's okay to say that. I think a lot of the time we pressure each other to, you need to get a job by 25, you need to have your life figured out, da, 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 da. I mean, here I am at 25 and I don't have my life figured out, guys. I think my life is really shambles right now. The only thing that's going really, really well is me going to school and me giving you quality content. But I want you guys to know that it's okay. But if I were to give you guys some advice from everything that I've learned in the past, is this: your career aspirations are quickly going to change, and the idea of corporate is not as gung-ho as people make it out to be. You know, there are some people who are well suited for corporate, and there are some people who are not. So for me, one of the things was I always wanted to go into corporate because in my mind, that's where you make it. I saw my friend CD go into corporate, she went into accounting. Now my friends are lucky when it comes to jobs. They always get jobs. I never do. I'm stuck down some, hey, you're great, your CV is great, but you're overqualified. And I realized that it's such a, I really think it's something that South Africa needs to work on in terms of employment, right? The recruitment system is becoming very outdated. Like, they want people who obviously have what it takes, who push themselves further, but the recruitment process is always the same. One thing I can tell you guys that I've always gotten is that I'm overly qualified. I'm told all the time that I'm overly qualified, and I'm told all the time that, you know what, you just don't have enough experience. So you're overly qualified in terms of what you bring, your CV, but you don't even have the experience for us to put you in a position that we feel you would be able to grow in. You get what I'm saying? So they feel like I don't have enough time within the industry to be able to deal with what would be thrown my way, which they have a point. But what is the point if y'all don't hire people? Back to the story. When it comes to career, guys, don't ever feel like you know, I'm not doing enough, whatever, and stuff like that. I don't even want to get into it. I want to share my experience with you, but I want to let you know that building your career and getting to that place, it's not limited to time. There is so much time for you to figure out who you are, to figure out how to get there. I know that with some other people and circumstances doesn't give them the privilege of having time to sit at home and decide what you want to do and stuff. I completely sympathize and I get that, but I'm just saying that it's okay to constantly change your path. Don't ever be afraid of leaving because of the security of a job, especially if you're still in university. Find your passion as soon as you can. It'll help you a lot and it'll save you a number of years. I think for me, had I known sooner that I wanted to go into marketing, I wanted to go into the digital marketing space, it would have saved me so much time. It genuinely would have saved me so much time because I would have went into it knowing what I wanted to achieve. Another thing is don't get discouraged, you know. I got discouraged a lot and I stopped looking for work, and my dad would always say to me like, Naledi, you're such a smart, bright girl. And I'd be like, yeah, I'm a smart, bright girl, can't get a job though. What up? And I'd always be so discouraged because I would go through all these various interview processes. They would bring me in 3 times, 4 times, like Nestle literally rejected me 3 times, and then he rejected me twice. And I can't tell you guys how many times I've been rejected by some of your favorite brands. But you know what? It's given me enough time to realize what kind of environment and industry I want to be in and what kind of environment I don't want to be in. This was the blessing in disguise because honestly, I didn't even know where I was going. The only thing I am sure about right now is my MBA. So my advice to you guys would be, give yourselves a chance. Let your career find you. Don't be discouraged. I'm not saying quit your jobs and go on a self-discovery. No. But I'm saying give yourself a chance to figure out your passion. Like, find all the things that make you happy and find out how you can turn that into an income. Because for me, that's what's happening for me right now. I think my dad couldn't believe it when I told him that YouTube pays me money. He's like, actual money. He's like, chale, dena lady, chale. He couldn't believe it. He couldn't believe that from sitting here, I can actually make some sort of income. So all I'm saying to you guys is that find your niche, and remember that career is no longer limited to being in the office space. Career is no longer limited to 9 to 5. There is so much opportunity for us to do so much more. So I wanted to tell you guys that little short story and all about career. And if you guys want me to branch more onto like break it down for you guys into series and stuff, because I know a lot of people who watch my channel are still in high school, still in varsity, so I don't really talk about career as much because I feel like that's a topic that my sister engages on more because she's older. But if you guys want me to talk about this topic and help you find out how to basically jumpstart your career, especially if you're in the marketing industry, I really would be happy to do that because I started my career at a fairly okay age. I started at a fairly okay age. But if you are in the marketing industry and you want to crack the code quicker, let me know. Put it in the comments down below. I can definitely do a video and tell you guys what are the tips and tricks to survive in the marketing space, because it really is a cutthroat industry. But yeah guys, that is it. That is my little story and finding myself, of how I quit all my jobs and I'm technically unemployed, but by the grace of God my parents still love me enough to buy me groceries. But yeah yeah guys, that is it. That is the end of my video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that I can produce more content that is more valuable to you guys, and if there is any other valuable content that you'd like to see from me, please comment down below, because I definitely want to engage on more thought-provoking topics with you guys, and I definitely want you guys to be able to engage with me and know that it's not always limited to laughter and jokes and throwing bottles in the clubs, okay? But yeah guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.